let's get into some overrated, underrated, or appropriately rated. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll go back and forth. I'm gonna hit you with the first one. 69 and overrated, underrated, or appropriately rated.
I think it's appropriately rated.
Okay, I'm gonna disagree. I think 69 and is mad overrated, dog. Like, I don't
I
know
think
any
it's
adults that do that
appropriately
shit.
rated.
All right,
Oh
go ahead,
my
hit me.
God. I think it's overrated for first timers who've never done it.
Okay, okay,
Maybe.
that's maybe. I mean,
Maybe.
it, I think with me, I'm not a smart man to begin with. So like when you're taking half of my attention away from what I'm doing, it's like, man, I can either enjoy this or I can do it correctly. There's one, like I can't
You
do both.
cannot multitask. You can you have
That's
to
not
focus on one
exactly. Like let
juggle
me,
one ball at a time.
hey,
Hey.
all right,
Okay,
hit me
next
with one.
one. Mhm.
You hit me with one. We go back and forth.
I should give you one. Did you say
Yeah, yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. We go back and forth.
Okay. Hmm. Eating balls or
For
sucking
me,
balls. Mm.
not really something I do very often. I would say for a man receiving my balls being licked, I think is underrated. I think it's underutilized, right? There's a
Oh,
good
are you
a
serious?
good
Tell me something I don't know.
a good ball lick will elevate a okay blowjob to a great blowjob. A good ball sucking will elevate a great blowjob to a perfect blowjob. The
Huh.
balls is super underutilized, especially in an oral sex situation. It's wild, at least for
This
me.
is
And I,
brand new information to me. What is it about the balls?
so it's the sensitivity, and I'm gonna give you all some sauce, ladies, out here too. There's a big difference between your tongue being in your mouth and your tongue being outside of your mouth. So when it comes to balls and the way that your testicles are sensitive, when you put the
Mm.
whole ball in your mouth, there's more likely that that pressure and that suction will create discomfort. Whereas if you stick your tongue out of your mouth and you lick it, you are then creating one, something that's visually sexy and going to get us going. But number two, it's creating a texture between your tongue that doesn't have necessarily all the warmth and everything inside of your mouth does, and it just feels good. It feels amazing. And I think a lot of times, if balls are mishandled, a woman may feel like, yeah, I don't want to hurt somebody. You know what I mean? Like whatever the case may be, but super underrated.
That is brand new information. I'm glad we touched on that.
All right,
Shout out to my
underrated.
future husband.
You're welcome, my guy. Like I'm doing God's work right now. All right,
Okay, next one.
getting your ass ate.
Oh, completely underrated.
Talk about it.
Completely underrated. Why did I say that?
You're here now. It's too late.
I feel like it's a level of intimacy. I feel like it's a level of intimacy that just opens up new worlds. Um, I can only speak for myself. um, because when I'm with my husband, right, I want to eat and taste and smell and feel and relish everything. I want every single piece of the juice and everything. I want to know what it feels like, what it, and I want the same. Like I would love a return of that, you know. So I think it's completely underrated. I mean, I
So,
speak as a woman.
so you think it's underrated as a woman to eat a man's ass, and it's underrated as a man to eat a woman's ass equally?
I think both ways, yes.
Okay.
I think that on that front as well, men, a lot of men, you know, shrink because they feel like, oh, you are, you know, taking away from my masculinity, you know, and I'm not gay. I'm not saying you're gay. I'm just saying, like, enjoy the moment, right?
I'll say this on behalf of men. I'll say this as someone who's gotten their ass eaten before. There's the biggest issue with men getting their ass eaten is that there's no position we look good in while it's happening. there's there's no such thing like there's nothing where I can look over at a mirror and see myself. Like what are our options here? You're not bending me over the fucking bed and doggy eating my ass, right? I can't be a turtle and like put my legs back like I'm giving birth, right? Like that's not masculine, right? Like that's the issue. You basically got to get rusty trombone, right? Like you like that's just stand up
I
straight.
absolutely get what you mean. I can see how that is a problem. Like,
Like, all right. Your
but
turn.
when
Your
you
turn. Hit.
do get there, though, ooh, it's underrated.
Right. I'll eat some ass though. I'm with you on that. I think every man should add ass eating to their repertoire. And before you start doing that, please make sure you know how to practice proper hygiene before you and your mate gets each other fucking sick. Please practice
Always.
safe sex. All right, hit me. It's on you.
Okay. Hmm. Does
We
it
set the
have to
bar
be
high.
totally sexual?
No. We don't have to do all sexual stuff.
Okay. Um,
I'll hit you with some non-sexual
overrated,
shit.
underrated, or appropriately rated? Sex on the first date.
I would say it is appropriately rated based on how you choose to rate it. This goes back to the conversations we had about communicating with your partners. There are people
Mm,
out there who are very, very comfortable with their sexuality and know that they
mm,
want to have sex on the first date, and it's wonderful. And there are people out there who are not comfortable with it, who may feel pressured by it and turned off by the idea of being pressured by it. And I think that a lot of people are afraid to have a conversation about sex on the first date before it happens because they're afraid that they'll cancel the date on it, ruin their chances, whatever the case may be. So I will say it is appropriately rated. If you are someone who likes to have sex on the first date, it can be amazing. There's nothing better than like the first time you meet up with somebody, we get a nice dinner, right? And then I taste what you had for lunch. You feel me? Like that's amazing to me. But there's also something that's super, super underrated about going on a date with somebody that understands, like if you're someone that doesn't like having sex on the first date, there's something that feels really good about going out on a date with someone and not feeling that pressure. So I think it is appropriately rated based on how you perceive it as an individual.
hmm. I love that answer a lot. I love
Hey,
that.
so all right. Overrated, underrated, or appropriately rated cologne.
Underrated.
Talk about it.
Oh, oh my
I'm
God.
I'm not a cologne guy, so let's go. I feel like I got a natural good scent to me, but you might be about to tell me I'm fucking wrong. Let's go.
No, I'm just a very sensual person. And I love every part of my senses to be delicately mesmerized, if that's the word. I want to smell, I want to taste, I want to suck and lick and eat and drink. So like smell is a good, because we don't smell a lot, as much as we think we do. We don't have so many instances in the day when we're smelling. Like touching is something that we're always doing, right? Seeing, we're always hearing. But
This is
smelling, this is why I love cooking, right? So like when I'm
right.
cooking, I love to bring in like, yeah, the real nice spices and aromas and flavors. And it's sort of like the same thing with the opposite sex. Even me personally, I love to bring in that sweet sensual scent in, as my own
Mhm.
vibe when I meet someone or when I'm with someone. And I just love the masculine smell, whatever that is. If it is a mix of sweat and, cologne, or if it's natural pheromones, if it's I just want to smell something.
Future husband, I got you on this one real quick. So if I was trying to get on Eva's good side, what is your go-to man scent? What's the scent that drives you crazy?
I think wood, anything that is like wood and fresh, natural. I don't want
Okay.
it to be too heavy, because when it combines with the naturals, because there's a natural smell, there's a natural order of things. And so you don't want to have something that will mask out the natural one. When that one blends, there was a time when I was younger when I used to be so turned on by the smell or the breath. Is there a breath smell of alcohol in the man's mouth? That shit completely took me off. And so when we go out on a date, I want to smell his, I just want to be like so close to the lips that I can smell it. I can take a whiff of it. I sound like a psycho.
Nah, you got alcoholics back there like, yo, let's go, baby.
No, but something natural. I think wood. I think wood. Um, not too spicy where it's like overly done. Like that would turn me off. But yeah.
Okay, okay. It's on you.
So why are you not a cologne guy?
Um, I think I mean, I don't have a good answer for that, to be honest with you. Like there's not a reason. I'm not like against it. It was
Just
just
the
never
something.
it was just never part of my routine. You know what I mean? I think it probably has to do with like I think a lot of times we tend to adopt the habits of what we like. So like with my women, I'm not big on the body sprays, right? I want to be able to lick and suck on you wherever I want and not get that chemical taste in my mouth. You know what I mean? I'm
Well,
also
this is
not
where that conversation of how to use it properly comes in. Like because people dab it all over, it's like, no, don't dab. Like stay far away and do the thing and go. Right? It doesn't have to be too much. But I get what you mean on the tasting of alcohol and stuff. I get that.
yeah. So I think because like I like the taste of women that I assume that I give off that same energy. You know what I mean? Like I'm the type to fucking I'll eat some pussy fresh out the gym. I don't care. Like if we're in that type of relationship, that's where we're at with it. You know what I mean? So like I never was the one that was like, oh, let me get my polo stuff on because we going out. It's like, I don't. It's just I don't knock it. Like there are men who look a lot better than I do, or well, you know what I mean, who like swear by it. So that's just I feel
Yeah.
like individual swag, and also like listen to your partner. Your partner may have a sensitive nose and not like it, or may like it, and that may be something you want to change. I would not like if I got with somebody and they were like, oh my god, this scent drives me crazy. I'm wearing that scent because I want to make my partner happy. You know what I mean? And I don't
Okay.
have any aversion to it. So I think it's
Yeah.
important to go about it that way.
I love it when it's gone a little stale, when it's been mixed with sweat and hard work.
Giving all the sauce away. Let's go.
Okay. Are we doing one more for you?
As many as you want, whatever you want to do.
Overrated, underrated, appropriately rated. Head. Giving head.
Underrated. I would rather get head than do anything else in life.
You would rather get head than do anything else in life?
Yes, there's nothing on this earth that centers me
Wow.
more than a perfectly executed blowjob. Like
Okay,
if you
that
want
has
it,
a part B. That has a B part, that
okay,
question.
go.
Same with the head. Overrated, underrated, appropriately rated. Um, head that comes squishy, squishy, like it's bath water, like ladder.
I don't know. Oh, I'm not a mess guy. I don't like sloppy toppy. I like
Ah,
you know what I mean? I like a blowjob to me that's like keep it all in your mouth. Let me see like that's just me, right? Like I like to say spit on it, but then lick it the fuck back up. You know what I'm saying? Like
oh
that's
wow.
that's my shit. Like I like a swallower. I'm not
What
big
is
on
wrong
mess.
with sloppy?
Nothing's wrong. There's first of all, there's nothing wrong with whatever you like. I will
Yeah.
say, in my experience, I tend to be an exhibitionist, which means like I'm fucking at my job, I'm fucking in the car, I'm getting my dick sucked while we go out for dinner. Like I like having sex on the go. I like being nasty in public. So you don't want to create a whole bunch of mess because once we're done, I still want to go and be able to sit down and have a nice dinner with you so you can get the taste out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that
So you
adds
can get
into
the
it.
taste out your mouth.
Yeah, I don't got the best diet, I'll tell you. Like
Gotcha. Okay.
all
Okay.
right, let's go with let's do
Wait,
some
wait, wait.
rating.
What is it
Oh,
about head
okay.
for you guys? How is that different from when your dick is in the vagina? What is it? Is it a tongue action? Is it
Now,
what is it? Educate me.
I will educate you. So, I speak for myself, okay? Let's make that very clear. I am a pleaser. When I have sex, I am not in sex to have a good time for me. When I get in
Mhm.
sex, I am driven by ego. I want to be the best thing that you've ever had. I want to find out what turns you on. I want to find out what your ex want to do. I want to find out what makes you cheat. I want to do the nastiest, most crazy shit to you possible. And
Yeah.
I'm not in it for myself. When I'm getting head, I have no responsibilities. When I'm getting a dick suck, my only responsibility is to be in the moment, to appreciate, to guide and direct to the way the things that I like. And that is my time to focus on me. I believe that for me, sex is about pleasing my partner and making my partner happy. And head afterwards is like the reward for a job well done. Like I put in the extra effort while the dick's in so that she's happy, so that I know that I deserve what I'm about to get afterwards. And that's how that makes me happy. That's how I operate. I like my ideal thing is always start with eating some good pussy, giving some good dick, and then I get to relax and get some good head, and then we get to chill. And like that's my perfect ideal scenario for an encounter.
So head is dessert.
Head is dessert. Head is the reward. It's a little
You
treat for
prefer it
me.
after, not before, or
Correct.
it can come anytime, or what?
Well, yeah, because like once my body is trained at this point, so if I get my dick sucked first, my body's like, all right, we're done, we're good, right? Like we don't like nap time, like let's go. You know what I'm saying? And I think
Okay.
that and a lot of people don't realize that you train your body to understand like Pavlov's orgasm. You know what I mean? Like you train your body to understand circumstances for what they are. So for me, like if you want to start, sucking some dick because you're into it and you want to like that turns you on to get in the mood, that's not me getting a blowjob. That's you doing some nasty shit just to get into the mood, and then we can go at it. For me, when you're getting a blowjob, there's nothing else that's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm focused on this right now, and we can get back to work. You know what I'm saying afterwards. That's my view. That's how I look at
Hmm. Wow. I would love, I wish I could have a really deep dive just on blowjobs because I find them very fascinating. Um,
it. Let's
and
do it. This is the time to do it. I mean, what the fuck?
no, really, I find them very fascinating. I've wished to maybe I was a man in my former lives or something, but I've wished to have a dick sometimes just to understand what sex is like for men. What does it feel like when you're in and when you're out and when you're pumping? What does that feel like? What is it like? I wonder about these things. Like just thinking about it turns me on. Um, and okay, so what is bad head for a man or for you?
For me, everyone is gonna have what they like. Like me and my brother like different types of blowjobs. My brother
You and
prefers
your brother talk
super,
about
super
this shit.
all the time, all the time. So like,
Hi, brother.
shout out to Laj. But like, all right, so this is a perfect example. I know way too much about my family, but that's just the way that we are, right? So he's gonna be so I can't say this. He's gonna be so bad. What was the question? Give me the question again. Bring it back.
What makes bad head?
Bad head. All right. So for me, a bad blowjob is first and foremost a quiet blowjob. All right. I'm a, like I'm like look at what you know about me. You know how much I love music, right? Like that's the whole basis of our relationship is me
Hmm.
just loving the music that you put out, loving your voice. That doesn't change when it comes to sexual orientation. Like my love language sounds a lot like slurping on a dick. Like that's just the shit that really turns me on. So a bad blowjob is one that's quiet because I have an auditory fixation, right? Obviously everyone's gonna say teeth, you know what I'm saying? That's not real because like once you're with somebody where it's not like your first blowjob, I haven't had teeth in a blowjob in 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not a real thing anymore. That's like for like when you're a
Yeah.
teenager and you're just starting out and everything like that. Bad blowjobs as an adult with experienced women look like
Mhm.
unenthusiastic. I want a woman who wants to suck dick. I never want a blowjob from somebody who feels like it's a chore. I never want a
It's like
blowjob.
an obligation.
Yeah, like get the fuck out of here. I'll jerk off. My kung fu grip's better than yours anyway. Like get the fuck out
Yeah.
of here with that attitude. I don't like that shit, man. If you don't want me, don't do it. Like I don't need my ego appeased. Like I really don't.
Yeah.
I will find somebody else who wants to do this,
I'll
and
find somebody else.
that's real. That's not ignorant. This goes back to what we talked about earlier. I would much rather find somebody with a similar interest. I want you to like sucking dick as much as I like getting it. Otherwise somebody's unhappy with the exchange. Somebody's like it's work. It's not fun anymore. And like that's why
Mhm.
relationships don't work. Because for
Mm.
me, getting a dick suck, I just told you, like I like that more than head. Like that's my treat. So if I have somebody who likes having sex and they're getting the best dick of their life, but then don't want to give me what I just worked for, we now have like, come on, that's alchemy. That's the law of equivalent exchange. It's now one sided in a relationship, and I'm gonna feel some type of way.
Mm. I love that a lot. I started writing a book about blowjobs, and it's confirming what I have been writing about what you just said about sound because I think that sound is a big part because what else is going to happen? You know, like you have to bring in, extras into the scene. And yeah, sounds
I'll tell you a story. I got a bad blowjob story, right?
Oh my
She
God, please.
she watches this, but that's all right because she'll laugh. I got violated
Are you
once.
sure that's all right?
I don't care. I'll use a fake name. We'll call her. Uh, give me a female name because I'm bad at this.
Betty?
We'll call her Betty. All right. So Betty and I match on an app, right?
Yeah.
And eventually she's like, pull up, and I'm like, all right, bet. And then I see Betty in person. Betty is one of the only women that looks better in person than she did on the app, right? We're talking about she got some big fake titties, everything proportionate, top to bottom. I was like, why are you single? You must be crazy. This is going to be a ride. Let's find out. You know what I'm saying? So we get started, and as soon as we go, she's like, "You want some head?" Like just as soon as I get there, and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would like some. I'll take two. What? Yeah, let's do
I'll
this,
take
right?"
two.
So she sits me down, right? She takes my pants off. She starts sucking me off, and about a minute into it, she sticks her whole fucking finger up my ass, like knuckle deep, right? No warning, no type of like, right? And I'm like, I look, and then she looks at me and she like curves, like hooks me. She like pulls, she's like, and she looks me right in the face. She goes, "You're fine," and keeps going. Oh, oh my God, what is happening right now? Like, we can't have a conversation. Who hurt you? Why you feel the need to take this out on my booty hole? Like, this is not like, so that's an example of there are a lot of people who enjoy a finger up their ass. Don't get me wrong. That's where your G spot is. There are a lot of people who like it. But just because your ex likes it doesn't mean you can't have you shouldn't have a conversation about it with the new person that you're with. Don't
Yeah.
assume because the last person you were with allowed for X, Y, and Z to happen that the next
Yeah.
person is automatically going to be okay with it. So that's an example of a bad blowjob too. When you try to put the habits that your exes have on your new partners.
Wow, that brings back that conversation we were having about, laying the cards on the table, having proper conversations, understanding what people like and what they don't like and what they want and what they don't want. That's a little bit presumptuous.
That's a nice way of putting it.
That was too forward. Nah. Thank you for sharing that. I have content and material for my books.
Hey, I better I,
Hey.
I better get like a footnote, right? Like shout out to SteveBussaGS as a footnote.
Okay.
So any other blowjob related inquiries at this time?
What is it about the tip of the dick that is so sensitive? What is that sensitivity like?
Make it very simple for you. The tip of the dick is very similar to your clit. Maybe not quite as
Mm.
important, but if you combine the sensitivity of a good ball lick and the tip of your dick, that would be the equivalent of getting your clit lick as opposed to licking the shaft. It's kind of like just licking the vulva.
Wow. What happens when it's going in and out? What is that suction process? What is happening in your brain when that is happening? Because you guys will pump and pump and pump. Every single pump, is it creating something? Is it like what is going on?
It depends. So all vaginas are not created equally, and I hate to be the one to have to have that conversation,
We
right?
knew that.
Discourse tends the discourse tends to favor being a little too politically correct with it. All right, all penis is not equal, all vagina is not equal. So what I will say is like what's going through your head when you have a vagina that you prefer, right? Whatever that type and style is. Um, I'm like walking myself through it. So the first thing you notice is the temperature. Nothing beats some warm, gushy pussy on a cold day. Like that's just like you got the air on. Yeah, like you got the air on. It's all chilly and stuff in there, and then you feel that warmth that it's just it's beautiful. It creates a sense of home, right? Like you want to
Okay,
stay
so
there.
wait. Even if all vaginas are not created equal, are all vaginas warm when you go
No,
in?
absolutely not. I think that tends to do a lot too with like body shape and size. Like there are women who have like a really fat pussy, like a thick area down there, and it tends to be warmer. Like especially like big girls with nice hams, you got some good thick thighs and stuff like that. Tends to create an area of warmth as opposed to maybe a super petite chick where it may not be there. Also, it depends on like how aroused and in the moment. Are you rushing the gun? Are you trying to get it in before you spent enough time making sure she's properly aroused and you got the juices flowing and everything like that? Like all of that stuff
Mm.
matters. But yeah, it's definitely different. I would say in my experiences,
Okay.
the warmth and gushiness of it definitely differs person to person. Plus, is she on any kind of medication or hormones that affects how wet she can get? Is she on birth control? You know what I'm saying? Like all these things can affect a woman's pH levels and things like that, and all of that sensitivity that goes on down there does change the way that it feels. And I think
Wow.
most men may not be educated enough to know what it is and is causing X, Y, and Z and be able to have those conversations.
Mm-hmm.
But these are real factors that go into the feel of things. You know what I mean? Whether they're good or bad is neither here nor there, but the fact that it exists is undeniable.
Hmm. Okay. I love that.